Being a community fellow with Opera Omaha is all about getting into the community and engaging with the many different partners that we have and finding how we as a musical and an artistic resource can support them in their goals.
Fundamentally, so much of what we do requires that sort of truth, vulnerability, life experience thing, and building connections. And those are things that I would say, being a fellow has helped with.
Opera Omaha actually reached out to me to offer volunteer opportunities within our prison. Nebraska Correctional Youth Facility is part of the Nebraska Department of Corrections. It's actually a state prison. All of those young men were tried and convicted as adults, even though they were minors when they committed the crime and when they were convicted. At the end of the day, no matter what adult decision they made that ended them in a prison setting, they are kids, they're teenagers.
So Jared and I ran a 6-week workshop, and we did lots and lots of things in there. We did a little bit of drawing, some poetry, we listened to music, all sorts of things like that. When Jared and I were planning, we really did our best to make sure that everything had joy and personal choice.
I saw an opportunity for them to be creative and to have an increased self-esteem or some kind of opportunity for them to realize that they have value and they have worth, and also an opportunity to have some hope and optimism in such a dire situation in their life.
Geri especially made sure that we were given the space in that room with them during the workshop to be expressive in that way. And that was really special.
We wanted to equip the population with either a life skill, a vocational skill, or some sort of a job skill. So they had to learn how to work well with others, and as they grow up and they go out into the workforce, that is going to benefit them greatly. This whole thing built up to one presentation at the end, so each week they did a piece of that presentation, so they saw long-term that if you take these little goals, these little steps, then at the end you end up with something bigger and better. And I think that is something that can go a long way, and the fellows explained that really well.
To me, going into that space is to, be prepared to be emotionally available, to show them my vulnerability so that they could see that was okay, and that they didn't have to feel as though they were being judged, or that there was any sort of worry that they would be perceived one way or another by their peers in that group and by us in that group.
I remember on the first day, a participant looked at me and he said, "Are you scared to be here?" Which is a question that I'm sure he's asked before. And I looked at him and I said, "No, I'm privileged to be here. I'm really happy to be here." And in the end, that participant ended up giving me a nickname, and it's something really beautiful that I remember. And as I said, those kids are sort of in my brain for forever, probably.
Everyone there was amazingly open to sharing, amazingly open to being part of those kind of activities. We put expectations on people before we even meet them because of their situation, and we expect them to act in a certain way, and when they don't, it really rattles you a little bit. It says, it makes you ask, what is it inside of me that put that on someone else without even having met them or spent time with them? It surprised me that I did that and that I continue to do that, and it's important for me to have those experiences because it changes me just as much as it changes them.
Actually, I would say it far exceeded my expectations. I think they got to be their age. They had freedom and permission to do that in that space, and I don't know that anybody ever gave them that chance before or challenged them to think so uniquely about how you can bring your emotion and your self-awareness into every activity. There were 26 young men who came every time, and they didn't miss. They were committed. They would ask me early in the morning, "Is Opera Omaha coming today?" and they would choose that over something else.
So much of the power that we have as artists is in connection to our community and is in building relationships and finding the ways that our music can and our art form can connect with our community.